Hey, Shalom, Israel. If I could get brothers and sisters like and share the class, let everybody know we live. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hey, let me know how the sound coming through, y'all. If y'all can hear me clearly, man, because I don't know why my microphone not picking up. Hold up. This is I don't know why that's doing that, man. 1 2 1 2. Let me get a one if y'all hearing me clearly, Shabal. If I'm coming through loud and clear, let me get a one. All right. Let me get a one if I'm coming through loud and clear. Bear with me also too. I gotta adjust this camera. 'Cause I know it might not mean nothing to y'all, but it's bothering me that it's sideways. I can't do that. Hold up. Man. So like y'all should have had this together before I started the class. My bad. Give me 1 second, y'all. This camera together. Get this camera together. Alright, that's looking a little bit better. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. All right, all right, all right. All right, Shalom Israel. You're on live with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Priest and Captain Soccer War Holder in the class line from Memphis, Tennessee. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we have classes from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Since 1969, the ISUPK has been teaching so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. In the year 2023, there is nothing more important than for God's chosen people to find out the truth of who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is on the earth. Having said that, we had these classes 3 nights out of the week. School here in Memphis is located at 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. Again, 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. Salakia, you brothers and sisters got family, loved ones, people you care about in the Memphis, Tennessee, and surrounding areas. Get them in contact with us here at the ISUPK. Now the camera looks like it's too far over to one side for me. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna leave it alone. Stop looking at the camera. What we like to do with these classes is give brothers and sisters an opportunity to go into this book called the Bible to gain the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that the Most High has placed inside of there in order for us to be able to come back to being the people He called us to be, to reclaim our righteous place on the planet Earth. So what I like to do with these classes is open them up to questions. If any brothers and sisters have questions online, you can type them in. If any brothers and sisters have questions in the room, all you have to do is raise your hand. If there are no questions, we're going to go ahead and get into tonight's topic. The topic of tonight's class is, what does it mean to serve God? All right. What does it mean to serve God? And I thought this would be a poignant topic for tonight's class because we are living in the time of the servants of God. You understand? We are living in a time where, for some of us, it's not just good enough to know that we're Israelites. For some of us, it's not good enough to just know to not eat pork and to not eat shrimp. and then not eat crabs and lobsters. For some of us, it's not enough to know that we shouldn't smoke weed, we shouldn't celebrate holidays, we shouldn't celebrate our birthdays. We're living in a time where the Most High is beginning to demand more of some of us. And if you are one of the brothers and sisters who the Lord requires more from, then it is going to be shown in how seriously the Most High deals with you in your life. So that's what tonight's class is going to be about: is what does it mean to serve God? All right. First scripture we're going to go ahead and go into is in the book of Matthew. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Let's get Matthew chapter 19. We're going to start at verse 16. All right. Matthew chapter 19, verse 16. Brother Akar Yala, you on it, Akar. You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and break it down for everybody, all right? Matthew 19 and 16 says, And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? Verse 17, And he said unto him, and these words are written in red, which means what? Our King Yahushua spoke these words to this brother. Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is the Most High. So here we have our King Yahushua, who the world calls Jesus Christ, acknowledging that he wasn't good. Man, it's the Most High that's good. Don't call me good, brother. That's all the Most High, man. That's the Lord. But if thou wilt enter into life, but if you want to enter into life, brother, keep the commandments, right? Verse 18. He saith unto him, which? Yahushua said, Thou shalt do no murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Honor thy father and thy mother, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. So Christ ran down to him all the laws that he should keep, all the things that he should do to enter into life. Verse 20, the young man saith unto him, All these things have I kept from my youth up. What lack I yet? Understand the statement that this brother made. What lack I yet? This was a man who came to Christ asking, What do I have to do to enter into life? Which means what? Well, enter into eternal life. You understand? What does it mean to have eternal life? What was the brother asking Christ for? Let me go ahead and get the definition of the word eternal for y'all, all right? All right? All right? So this is the definition of the word eternal. I'm going to give you several contexts, because the context this brother is asking about is not the eternal life of dying and of living forever. Everybody understands? Eternal, defined as having infinite duration, meaning what? Everlasting. It lasts all the time, right? It'll go on forever. It says of or relating to eternity, characterized by abiding fellowship with God. Everybody understands? What is an abiding fellowship with God? Meaning the Most High is always with you. Everybody understands? Keep reading. Second context is continued without intermission, seemingly endless. And then the third one says valid or existing at all times. Everybody understands? This brother that asked a question in Matthew 19 and 16. When he said, Behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what things shall I do that I may have eternal life? This brother was saying, What do I have to do for the Most High to always be with me? What do I have to do to always be with the Lord? You understand? That's why when Christ responds to him in verse 17, At the end of verse 17, he says, but if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. What does it mean to enter into life? See, there's one thing to just be existing on the earth. It's one thing to have your heart pump blood and your lungs move oxygen throughout your body. And then there's another thing to live. It's another thing to fulfill your purpose, to find your meaning in life, to know that, man, the Lord is with me. That's the question this brother was asking. What do I have to do for the Lord to always be with me? What do I have to do for me to always be living? Christ said, man, you keep the commandments, you'll enter into life. Brother said, what commandments? Christ gave him all of the commandments, ran it down. Brother said, I'm doing all of these things. Yet what lack I? This brother still he wasn't fulfilled even though he was living righteously. He wasn't fulfilled even though he obeyed all the commandments of God. He still was searching for life, still was looking for meaning, still wanted to know, how can I have the Lord to always be with me? That's what is the spirit of this question here. This is not just, well, what I got to do to never die. That's not the question. What do I got to do to go to heaven when I die? That is not the question. The question is, how do I live? What do I have to do to live? Christ said, brother, if you want to live, obey the Lord. Brother said, I've been obeying him. What am I lacking? Why don't I feel alive? Why don't I feel like my life matters? Why don't I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do? And for some of us, that is where we are in life. You could be serving the Lord, obeying all the law, statutes, and commandments, doing everything that you're supposed to do. You may still feel unfulfilled. You may still feel like, man, something's missing. You may still feel like, man, I ain't done nothing yet. Well, guess what? If that's how you feel, brother, if that's how you feel, sister, hear what Christ has to say for you. Verse 9, Matthew 19 and 20. The young man saith unto him, all these things have I kept from my youth. What lack I yet? Yahushua said unto him, if thou wilt be perfect, go and sell all that thou hast, and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come and follow me. This was a man who had already been righteous. This was a man who had already been obeying the Lord. Christ said, well, if you want to be perfect, sell everything you have, give it to the poor, and you're going to have treasure in heaven, and then come and follow me. What was Christ telling him to do? Christ was saying, well, brother, if righteousness hasn't fulfilled you, then you got to come serve the Lord. You got to come and give your life to the Most High. You have to come and be a part of the work of the priests and the prophets and the sisters who have given their life to the Most High. The ISUPK is the place for brothers and sisters who the Lord has chosen to serve him. And to serve the Most High is far more than just not eating pork, not eating shrimp, not celebrating your birthday, not celebrating holidays, not smoking weed. There's a next level. And that is what it means to serve the Lord. Let me keep reading. Matthew 19 and 22. But when the young man had heard that saying, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions. That brother who desired to live, that brother who desired something more than just obeying God, when he was told what the cost was, he went away weeping. He went away crying. He went away full of sorrow because his desire to actually live did not override his comfort of all his worldly possessions. And for some of us, if the Lord has called you to serve him, then there's nothing that is going to be able to stop him from causing you to serve him. Keep reading. Matthew 19 and 23. Then said Yahushua unto his disciples, Verily I say unto you, that a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven. Why did he say a rich man should hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven? Because for some of us, in order to enter into the kingdom of heaven, we've got to be willing to sacrifice everything. We've got to be willing to lose everything. We've got to be willing to put it all on the line to serve the Lord. And not everybody is built for that. But if that is what the Lord has chosen you for, you will find no rest in this life until you commit yourself to what the Lord has chosen you to do. Nothing you ever try in life is going to work until you accept what the Lord has chosen for you. You can run, you can hide, you can fight, but the Lord will never let up off of you until you give him what he requires, which is your service. Everybody understands? Verse 24, and again I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of God. It's so hard to be a rich man, to be a man that has worldly possessions, to be a man that has a wife and kids who love that Christmas, love that Thanksgiving, love going to church on Sunday. It's hard for him to enter into the kingdom because the Lord is going to try him against all of those things. Verse 25, and when his disciples heard it, they were exceedingly amazed, saying, who then can be saved? But Yahushua beheld them and said unto them, with men this is impossible, but with the Most High all things are possible. If it was left up to us, none of us would enter the kingdom of heaven. If it was left up to us, none of us would sacrifice the things that need to be sacrificed to please the Lord. If it was up to us, we would do whatever we had to do to just get by doing enough to feel like we're better than everybody else. Thanks be to the Most High, it's not left up to us. Thanks be to the Most High that some of us have a burning desire to do more. Thanks be to the Most High, some of us suffer depression because we knew we weren't living our life the right way. Thanks be to the Most High, some of us could never quite make it in Esau's world to get that money that we knew we deserved, to be able to allow our brain to amass us the wealth that we knew we were capable of obtaining. Because if we had amassed that wealth, then why would we need the Lord? Thanks be to the Most High, that man, for some of us, he made us suffer and struggle for many years in the world. Failed relationships, family turned their back on us, people we thought loved and cared about us used us and mistreated us and threw us away. Thanks be to the Most High for that, because if it wasn't for that, why would we have turned to the Lord? Why would we have sought a place where we wouldn't be abused and wouldn't be taken advantage of? Why would we have sought a place where people genuinely care and love you, whether or not they can gain something from you? Thanks be to the Most High that he didn't leave it up to us whether we would be his servants. Rather, he chose us and made our life in such a way that there was no way that we could truly live until we came and we served him. Everybody understands? Let's drop that. We key let's get Matthew chapter 10. Get Matthew chapter 10. Matter of fact, hold on. Here we go. This is Mark chapter 8. Mark chapter 8 and verse 34. Everybody understands? Again, the topic of tonight's class is, what does it mean to serve God? The answer is, serving God is more than just living righteously. Like Officer Karyala said at the beginning of the class, following the law, statutes, and commandments is just the entry level of righteousness. Righteousness is what is required. It's not like you don't get a pat on the back for being righteous. You don't get a reward for obeying God. It's what you're supposed to do. Do your goddamn job. You're on the earth, you're living life, obey God. That's it. You're not amazing. You're not, special. You're not somebody who's, deserving of a crown because you don't eat pork and you don't smoke weed and you don't have sex with prostitutes. Nigga, you're supposed to do that. And if you do that, you'll live a healthy, prosperous life, because that's what you get when you live life the right way. That's how you succeed in life. You win in life when you do things the right way. Righteousness is base level. To be a servant of God, you have to go above and beyond just living righteously. Everybody understands? This is Mark chapter 8, verse 34. And when he had called the people unto him, with his disciples also, he said unto them, whosoever will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. What is Christ saying? What does it mean to follow him or will come after him? To come after him means to follow him, literally and figuratively. To come after him means you're walking behind him, so you're literally following him. To come after him figuratively means he's gone and has lived already, but you want to take his place. Then you have to follow him. Everybody understands? Our king said, if you're going to follow me, if you're going to walk in my footsteps, if you're going to walk the path that I am on, what was the path that Christ was on? Path was on the path of serving the Most High. Don't you know, when you read the Bible, you never read about anything Christ did for himself. Christ never took a wife. Christ never had any wealth. Christ didn't even have a place to lay his head for the Passover. This was a brother whose entire life was about the service of the Most High. And if you wanted to be like him, brother, if you wanted to follow after him, if you wanted to have the power that he had, if you wanted to be known by the Lord the way he was known by the Lord, he said, you got to take up your cross and follow him. What is your cross? The cross is the place where you go to die. The cross is the place where the man that you were before you served the Lord has to suffer. The cross is the test. It's symbolism. Christ's biggest test in life was on that cross. So when he said, take up your cross and follow me, he was saying, face your biggest test. Face your biggest temptation. Face your toughest battle if you're going to follow after me. Verse 35. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. What if you don't take up your cross and follow him? What if you don't prepare yourself to suffer the way he suffered? If you try to run and save your life, guess what? You're going to lose it. All those things that matter to you in the world, that job, that wife, that husband, those children who you love so much and you want to see them grow up big and strong and live a prosperous life, avoid the Lord because you're trying to save them, and guess what? You're going to lose them. That woman is going to divorce you after giving your goddamn life to her. That husband who you love so much and he takes care of them kids and loves you, he's going to leave you and find another woman better than you. That mother and that father you didn't want to offend by celebrating these holidays, they are going to hate you and write you out of their will because you never were the child that they raised you to be. You always fell short of what their expectations were of you. You try to save your life by running from serving God, and you are going to lose your life. Everybody understand? But whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's, the same shall save it. But if you are willing to lose everything because you know that you've been chosen to serve the Lord, then you will save that relationship with that woman who you love so much. You'll save that relationship you have with those kids who you love so much. Your relationship with your mother and your father will drastically improve because of the decision you made to give your life over to the Most High. Verse 36, for what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Is there anything that's worth your soul? Is there anything that's worth losing because you refused to serve God? Whatever that thing is that's more important than serving God, you are going to lose it. Because the Most High does not play about what belongs to him. And if you are called to serve him, nothing you ever do in your life short of serving him is going to suffice, going to be sufficient. For some of us, the only choice we have in life is to serve the Lord. Everybody understands? Let's drop that. Drop that. Let me get hold up. Now, as we go to look in the Bible, right, there are examples of servants of God all throughout the scriptures. The Bible is written about the servants of God. The Bible isn't written about righteous men and women. The Bible isn't written about people who just did what God said to do. The Bible is written about people who suffered for God's name's sake, who endured cruelty and oppression and beatings and jail time and poverty, the death of loved ones, because they gave their life to serve the Most High. And why would our lives be any different? Give me Psalms chapter 86. Psalms chapter 86, starting in verse 1. Bow down thine ear, O Lord. Hear me, for I am poor and needy. Preserve my soul, for I am holy. O thou, my power, save thy servant that trusts in thee. Be merciful unto me, O Lord, for I cry unto thee daily. Rejoice the soul of thy servant, for unto thee, O Lord, do I lift up my soul. For thou, Lord, art good and ready to forgive, and plenteous in mercy unto all them that call upon thee. Give ear, O Lord, unto my prayer, and attend to the voice of my supplications. In the day of my trouble I will call upon thee, for thou wilt answer me. Among the gods there is none like thee, O Yahweh, neither are there any works like unto thy works. All nations whom thou hast made shall come and worship before thee, O Yahweh, and shall glorify thy name. For thou art great and does wondrous things. Thou art the Most High alone. Teach me thy way, O Lord. I will walk in thy truth. Unite my heart to fear thy name. I will praise thee O Lord, my power, with all my heart, and I will glorify thy name forevermore. For great is thy mercy toward me, and thou hast delivered my soul from the lowest hell. O power, the proud are risen against me, and the assemblies of violent men have sought after my soul, and have not set thee before them. But thou, O Yahweh, art a power full of compassion and gracious, long suffering, and plenteous in mercy and truth. O turn me and have mercy upon me. Give thy strength unto thy servant, and save the son of thy handmaid. Show me a token for good, that they which hate me may see it and be ashamed, because thou hast hope in me and comforted me. Everybody understands that is a psalm of David, a servant of God. You understand? To be a servant of God doesn't mean that all things in your life are going to be wonderful and happy. To be a servant of God doesn't mean that all things are going to always make you happy and make you feel good. Mm-mm. The life of a servant of God is the life of someone who is constantly being tested, constantly being tried, constantly being faced with difficult, hard decisions. Everybody understands? Bear with me. Hold up. Now we're gonna go into the Apocrypha. Hold up. Let's see. Only. Let's get Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 1. The book of Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha, chapter 2, verse 1. All right. This is important. There's a difference between being righteous and being a servant of God. Everybody understands? Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 1 says, My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. You come to serve the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation. What is serving the Lord? Serving the Lord is, man, I'm thinking of all the parables of Christ. Now they're coming back, they're coming into my mind like that's the whole point. Is righteousness is not enough. For some of us, righteousness is an achievement. Some of us, righteousness is like, oh man, I'm living a good life, man. I know I'm doing what the Lord said to do. I'm obeying Him. Not getting high no more. I'm not left these hoes alone, man. I'm doing all the right things I'm supposed to do, man. Life is good. But then there's others who it's just never enough. You know, I just think of so many brothers in the truth that I know that are endeavoring to do things that no one has ever done before. I look at brothers like, Captain Tazariak and the path he's paved with his debates and with his battles with these people who are, not in the truth. Think about brothers like Captain Katazar and the Patazar Al-Laban, who, written books. I think about brothers like Tabawan down there in California, who's, doing exhaustive topical breakdowns to be able to bring history of the earth and of the Bible to life for brothers and sisters. And I look at it and say, man, it's amazing how the Lord is using these brothers to do things that have never been done before. You know what I mean? None of us in this truth ever woke up one day and just decided that we were going to serve God, man. It was something that the Lord called us into doing. I think about people like Captain Yagawa. You know what I mean? Many skills and abilities to be great in a lot of things. But the Lord chose you to do this job. That is what the kingdom of heaven is going to be built on. That is who are going to be those that rule in that kingdom of heaven. Not just the people who stop smoking weed, stop eating shrimp, stop getting shape ups, but those who then dedicated their lives to going out on the streets and teaching, sitting in these classrooms and teaching, giving up their wealth and their resources to provide a place for brothers and sisters to be able to come and learn the truth. That is what it means to serve the Lord. To do the job of a commanding General Yohana, of a General Muhammad, a General Mayak, a General Haas, a General Shalimar, a General Katham, a General Kabbalah. Like there's a job that only exists in serving the Lord that many of us have been called to do. And if you were called to do that job, that is what separates you from the other people on the earth. Somebody asked me, what does it mean to be a man of God? To be a man of God, you have to prioritize the Most High first. Greater than my desire for any wife, or my desire for any riches, or my desire for any material gain, is what does the Most High want from me? And when you live your life with that being the question that guides your every decision, then the life that you have isn't even your own life. And if you can learn to live in this evil place with the mindset that my life doesn't belong to me, it belongs to God, then how much greater will that life be when we enter into the kingdom of heaven? You can survive down here. I mean, goddamn, all the evil that's constantly present, all of the demonic forces, spirits, energies, whatever the hell, y'all using all kind of terminology for this world that we know is around us that we can't see. If your driving force to conquer all of that is what does the Lord want from me, then what can be withheld from you? I remember it's making me think of the movie The Matrix. When that cat Neo first became aware of the Matrix, right? It's like somebody waking up to the truth. It's like you living a life, but you know, man, something ain't right with this world. I know there's something that I'm missing. There's something deeper. There's something that's being hidden, man. I know there's something more to life. There's no way God put me down here just to be working some job so I can get this good check, so I can go and get fresh and get fly, so I can go to the club, so I can take a pretty woman on a date, so I can have nice things, then get up and, do it all over again. God damn, surely God didn't put me down here for that, man. There's got to be something more to the world. You go start searching and trying to find, what am I missing? That's Neo asking, what is the Matrix? And then one day, we find somebody who tells us, hey, you want to know about the Matrix? Hey, brother, what's your nationality? Hey, brother, did you know that it was against God for you to celebrate holidays? And you being someone who's already searching for the Matrix, they ask you, what's your nationality? Say, hey, man, I'm African American. I'm black. I'm Moorish. When you're at a place of being ready to receive the truth, your answer is, I don't know. I don't know my nationality. Hey, man, listen, you an Israelite. Look at this sheet here, man. Look at these names on here. You see these names? These are names the oppressor gave us. These names on the other side, these are names that God gave us, man. Where your family from? My pop's from Jamaica. Hey, man, you from the tribe of Benjamin, huh? You know what that mean to be from the tribe of Benjamin? Nah, man, what it mean? Come to class, brother. Come to class and we'll teach you. Just like Neo got that message on the computer saying, follow the white rabbit, you come to class. And as you sit in class, you're presented with knowledge and with information and with wisdom. You begin to learn things that you never thought could be true. Begin to understand things that have been hidden from the view of the public world for thousands of years. Yet you're getting these answers in these classes. Then one day somebody says, you know, your 90 days is up, man. Yeah, man. You you wanna be in here? For you brothers, you get told to, stop wearing your all black. For you sisters, you get told, it says you get you a Hebrew name. And then one day you get called up. And getting called up to be anointed to receive your Hebrew name is like somebody offering you the red pill and the blue pill. Even before you decide if you're going to accept the red pill or the blue pill, you get that oil poured on your head. You receive that new name. It's symbolic of you being born again or entering into the first steps of becoming a brand new person, becoming the person that the Most High always intended for you to be from the beginning. And once you get that oil poured on you and you get that name, then you begin the process of deciding, am I going to take this red pill and stay asleep? Or am I going to take this blue pill and go all the way in? And for every brother who's been a trooper, who wore their all black, who were presented with that question of how far do you want to go with this, the process you go through into determining if you're going to be an officer or if you're going to be a wife or if you're going to be, a sister dedicated to the school, that's like going through the decision-making process of choosing the red pill or the blue pill. There have been many men who chose that red pill. I don't know where they're at. They went back into the world. They went back to their former life. This was just something that was too much for them. I know many sisters who, you know, left their husband or ended a courtship or slept with some man in the world because they didn't have what it took to be the wife of a man in here. But then there's those of us who chose that blue pill and we took our officer's test and we had that oil poured on our head. There's women who took the oath of marriage seriously and married a man in here and had to learn what it meant to be the wife of a servant of the Lord. Had to learn what it meant to be the servant of the Lord herself. A lot of you sisters out there, a lot of you are unmarried. You come in here and you serve the Lord. You feed these brothers, you clothe these brothers, you braid their hair, you make sure they're taken care of. They need a ride, you give them a ride. You contribute to the building fund to make sure that the classrooms stay open. And it is a life that is full of service. A life that is full of giving everything you got so that the Lord can have a place on the earth. And so just like in the Matrix, once he took that blue pill, then that was it. He was stuck. He woke up in that Matrix and life wasn't beautiful. He woke up out of that Matrix. He woke up in a goddamn tub of jelly with a bunch of spines sticking all in his body, tubes all in his body. He woke up, went on that goddamn ship, eyes hurt, said it because the first time he was able to see. Food that he had to eat, nasty as hell. You understand? The goddamn stuff he had to drink was grueling. Then he had to do what? Then once he opened up his outside the Matrix, then he had to start training. Had to begin to fight. Had to begin to train his body, train his mind, train his spirit. Why? Because even though you wake up out of the Matrix, even though you come out of the world, there is no quiet place for you to sit all day and be able to get the job done. When you wake up, what do you got to do? You got to begin to fight against everything that tried to keep you asleep. Just like when Neo woke up outside of the Matrix, it wasn't just enough to wake up. It wasn't just enough to wake up and say, hey, I'm here. I'm out of the matrix now. No. You had to prepare yourself to tap back into the matrix. Had to prepare yourself to go back into the world. For what? To fight for more brothers and sisters. To wake more people up. To go and expose to more people that this matrix doesn't exist. It's not a real world. This world that you live in, these ambitions and these desires you have, this perspective you have on life doesn't even really matter. It's all fabricated. It's all false. It's all created just to make you into a battery. Because the powers that be and the spirits that work behind the scenes, they want to drain you of your life, drain you of your energy, drain you of your spirit. And what is your weapon to fighting back? Your weapon to fight back is putting the Lord first. And that's what the life of a servant of God is all about. It's about putting him first. So, Salakia, going back into Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Most High, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Don't run. Don't be afraid. Stand strong with the Most High. Set your heart aright. Know that it is going to be a battle. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. If you want to be increased, if you want to prosper, you want to have success in this life, cleave to the Most High. That's the reason why things that should go right in your life never go right. Because you aren't cleaving to the Most High. You aren't fully committing yourself to doing what he said to do and only what he said to do. You still got a couple things that you want to do for yourself. You still got a couple things that you think are fun, that you think are enjoyable, that you don't want to let go of. That is why things don't happen for you the way that you think that they should. Because you are in the midst of the temptation, and you're not standing as strong as you should. Now read verse 3 again, Ecclesiasticus 2 and 3. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. Do you understand what it means to be a servant of God? It's not an easy life. It's not a sweet life. But it is a life worth living. It is a life where you get to win all the time. It is a life where you always prevail against your enemies. It is a life where you always get to say, Barakatah Yahweh wa Yahweh Shah, because I did not deserve this great thing the Lord has done for me. And if you have that spirit where nothing is good enough, nothing is ever a job well done until the day that our King cracks that sky open, then guess what? You were chosen to be a servant of God. Ecclesiasticus 2 and 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. You have to go through it in order for you to be true to it. You've got to go face adversity. You've got to go walk through the fire in order for you to come out on the other end forged and strengthened and purified before the Most High. Verse 6, believe in him and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. Ye that fear the Most High, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, or else you'll fall. You that fear the Most High, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Most High, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Most High, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Most High and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that he called upon? For the Most High is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering, and very pitiful, and forgives sins and saves in time of affliction. These are things that you come to understand when you begin to serve the Lord. Whether you wanted it or not, whether you chose it or not, you never really had a choice in the matter. Everything that happened in your life brought you to this point where you are now so that you could understand and realize that serving the Lord is all that you could have ever done in your life. And the time that you spent running away from it, denying it, not understanding what it was, not knowing why me, not knowing why I got to always be the one to do the right thing. Why am I the one that's not heartless and that cruel? Why am I the one that's always compassionate, always thinking of the worst case scenario? Why am I always the one to have such a heart? Because you were the one that was chosen by the Lord. It's because you were the one who he made different than everybody else. You were the one who he holds to a higher standard because he know what he put inside of you that made him choose you. And so now that you can understand why you, prepare yourself for temptation. Prepare yourself for the hardships, for the difficulties. Hell, you went through everything you went through in life not serving the Lord. You went through everything you went through in life not knowing how deep the rabbit hole goes. Now that you wake up and you see how deep it goes, now that you wake up and you understand now why you went through what you went through, what's stopping you from being unstoppable? What's stopping you from being invisible? What's holding you back from being Neo in the Matrix except for you and your non-belief? Some of us, the Lord wants us to do something that we don't believe we can do. Why don't you? You better go fast. You better pray. You better go ask for orders from your camp leader. You better go get counsel on how do I fight this feeling of I'm not doing enough. Even though I'm obeying God, even though I do everything he said to do, I'm not fulfilled. I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied. You better go find out. Ask somebody what you need to be doing because the only thing holding you back is you. The only reason why we haven't moved mountains and we haven't called lightning out of the sky and we haven't healed the sick and raised the dead is because you don't think you can do it. And God is not pleased. He will not accept mediocrity. He will not accept you being just good enough. He's not impressed with just getting off of weed and learning to not watch pornography. He needs more. He demands more because he knows you're capable of more. Why won't you give it to him? You already know life is going to be a struggle. Life is going to be a battle. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be ups and downs. I've been through this a million times before. I know what's coming next. Now I'm up. Everything is looking good. Everything is flowing for me. I know that the next test is right around the corner. I know that Satan is going to try me like he always has and he always will. If that is what you know, then what's holding you back? You know you're going to win anyway if you stand with the Lord. You know you're going to triumph. You know you're going to overcome. So why won't you go for that thing that you absolutely know that you deserve? Why won't you be every bit of that man that you yourself could be proud of when you look in the mirror? Why won't you go and become that great woman that deserves that man that is going to love you the way you know you deserve to be loved and care for you and lead you and guide you and give you all the things that you know you've always prayed to God for? What's stopping you? What's holding you back? But you. It's foolish. It's foolish to wake up out of the matrix and then that be Neo. Keep reading in Ecclesiastes chapter 2, starting at verse 12. Woe be to fearful hearts and faint hands and the sinner that goes two ways. What is that talking about? Destruction comes to those who have fearful hearts. You're afraid, you're unsure of yourself. That is why you suffer the way that you do. Because destruction comes to those who have fearful hearts. And faint hands. Why aren't you being the best that you can be? Why haven't you magnified that office the Lord put you in charge of? Why haven't you grown that school that the Lord told you to go build? Are your hands too weak? Are you not strong enough? No, you're strong enough. Your hands aren't weak. You just aren't doing enough. You just aren't applying yourself because you're afraid. And to the sinner that goeth two ways. Who's the sinner that goes two ways? Trying to be righteous. Trying to be righteous, but you constantly falling, constantly being weak, constantly not getting the job done. Destruction is coming to you. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believed not. Therefore shall he not be defended. Because you don't believe in the power of the Most High to overcome everything. That's why you lose. You lose because you don't believe you can win. You lose because you don't believe you deserve to win. I refuse to have given up everything I gave up in my life and not know that I deserve to win. I refuse to think that God put me through everything he put me through for me to not have the things that I want, for me to not have the things that I deserve. Nah, damn that. I'm going to have it all. I'm going to have it all, and I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to relish in it, and I'm going to thank the Lord, and I'm going to praise him because I earned everything that I get from him. He gave me a shot, and I took it and I ran with it. He gave me a chance, and I manned up, and I endured and persevered and survived through every test that Satan has ever thrown my way. I'm not going to be shy about anything that the Lord has for me. Nah. Women, I want it. Money, I'm going to stack it up. Wealth and possessions, ooh-wee. I'm going to boss up. I'm not going to be shy about anything the Lord has blessed me with. Why would I? What is there for me to fear? What is there for me to, what's the drawback? What's the consequences? The Lord made me to be great, and I'm going to be great. Because anything less would be me shorting the Lord. And he's not going to stand for that, so why would I? Woe unto you that have lost patience. And what will you do when the Lord shall visit you? They that fear the Most High will not disobey his word, and they that love him will keep his ways. They that fear the Most High will seek that which is well, pleasing unto him. and they that love him shall be filled with the law. They that fear the Most High will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight, saying, we will fall into the hands of the Lord and not into the hands of men. For as his majesty is, so is his mercy. To be a servant of God means you go above and beyond righteousness. And going above and beyond righteousness is something that the Lord chooses you for. Because for anyone who wasn't chosen, righteousness is a hell of an accomplishment. Righteousness is admirable and deserves to be praised and recognized and heralded as championing for the Lord. But if you're someone who he's chosen to serve him, yeah, I've been righteous for a long time, and there's still more for me to do. It's not enough. And that is what's going to get you a crown on your head. That is what's going to have you married to a man who gets a crown on his head. We're living in a time of the servants of God. We are living in the time where his spirit is being poured out and his power is going to be made manifest and his gifts are going to be given freely. But you have to choose to serve. And if you are chosen to serve, choosing to just be righteous will never be good enough. And with that, we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge out of 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. Since 1969, we have been teaching so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians descend from the greatest people on the face of the earth. Okay, somebody online has questions from Rookie to Pro. You got questions? Yeah, we got answers. Go ahead. What's your questions, Out? And if they're too long, you might have to wait till the mall's class. You come in on time tomorrow from Rookie to Pro. Come in on time at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time with your questions, and we can answer all your questions. But I'll give you a second to get one out. See what you're dealing with, all right? You got 30 seconds, Rookie. You got to type that thing in, man. Them fingers working. Come. We prophets, yes. But you don't even know what it means to be a prophet. But yeah, I'm a prophet. That's your first question. You're a prophet, right? Yes, that's the answer to your first question. You got 3 questions out. Come on with it. Come on. A prophet is one that speaks the words of God. That's what a prophet is. A prophet speaks the words of God. How do you know they're the words of God? Because what a prophet says, a prophet speaks about the future that obviously no man can have seen. And when it comes to pass that what the prophet spoke was true, it's proven that what he said came from God. So that's what makes a man a prophet. You speak things, you say things, the words that come out of your mouth, people hear them. If they take heed to them, when they come to pass, they'll say you're a prophet. If they don't take heed to them, when they come to pass, they'll say he's a prophet. That's what makes a man a prophet, speaking the words of God. I am a prophet of God. So come on now, that's your second question. Third question. Do you and your Hebrew Israelites speak Hebrew? Who are you? Who are the other Hebrew Israelites? In the ISUPK, we speak Hebrew. All right. In the ISUPK, we speak Hebrew. All right. Tea time, what's going on with you? A lot of y'all coming in late. Y'all got to get here at 6 o'clock Central Time when the class start. Make sure y'all like, subscribe. Rookie, those are your 3 questions. I answered them. Come to class tomorrow, prepared on time, and we'll see if we can get through all the questions that you got. With that, we're the Israelite School of UPK out of 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. Since 1969, we've been teaching the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians descend from the greatest people that ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. In the year 2023, there is nothing more important than for God's chosen people to learn the truth of who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is here on the earth. You brothers and sisters in the Memphis, Tennessee, and surrounding areas, get them in contact. You got family, loved ones, people you care about in the Memphis, Tennessee, and surrounding areas. Get them in contact with the ISUPK. You understand? We provide all types of services for free for all of our brothers and sisters of the 12 tribes. With that, shalom, Israel.